Alright, greetings and welcome back to Kwaza Games. This is Eddie Tia here, and today we're going to be looking at 3D modeling and how to create assets for the project Never Rage. And the example that I would like to share, which is a perfect example, is Kendra's work. So Kendra here is a 3D modeler, and she was assigned a task for chainmail, which is what she uh, chose pretty much. And she was working on the Tiefling, or we don't call them Tiefling anymore. We call them Blazeborn model. Um, anyways, this here is a perfect example because she did exactly what is expected and what how the model is supposed to be made. She just did that perfectly, and that's why I'm making this video. um Anyways, let's go ahead. So she asked, all right, so as she was working on the project, she asked questions, which is something that you guys are expected to do. And she asked if she can make adjustment to the models. And as you guys know, we are working with low poly models, and the model is supposed to be simplistic so that we can customize them um, easily and pretty much just work on it as a group, right? If this model was very complex, it would take forever for any update to be made to it, because you have to do all these checks and whatnot. So that's why we keep everything simple and modular. All right, so she asked about the tiefling bottom half, like pretty much if she could make adjustment to like the tail and stuff, and the blade spawn. Okay, and I gave her the description, the explanation here. I said the model is pretty much combined, and the way I wanted the models to be, the armors and customization to be made, was pretty much to have the model and then pretty much extrude or just duplicate the body and then make the armor out of that, right? Again, the model is kind of static in a sense, that it's really hard for me to explain this, but we are not using complex stuff like physics, cloth physics and stuff like that. It's just a simple low poly with blocky uh, outfits and blocky design pretty much. So um, yeah, World of Warcraft does this in its own way, right? The models, the texture is on the model itself. As for us, we are making like the actual texture. We are making armor, and then we will add textures to the armor, and then the armor will go on the model, which is a similar design, like in its simplicity. We're not making like cloth and like trying to like fit it on the character with like physics and stuff like that. That's not what we're doing. So, and it's performance efficient and stuff like that. So this here is a perfect example. She did a one-to-one modeling, in a sense that this here will fit the character perfectly if I imported it as an FBX, which I just did. All right, I reviewed this first before I decided to make this video. So if I go ahead and enable all of these stuff here, you'll see that there's the model, which is rigged. The model that I share with you guys is the model that you guys should be working with, because it's rigged and you guys can see like how if you want to see the animation or whatever and stuff like that, you guys can test that. So basically, when you are importing stuff into Unity, it has to be like the exact same thing. Like if you are trying to add animation and stuff like that, um and it's a lot easier that way. So I'm gonna grab this item and move it on the y axis. You can see here, this is the model that I made. All right, it's very simple model. All right, and it's already rigged. And this is the model she used to make this perfect armor that actually fits on the character. When I grab it again with G, whoops, move it back. I see, whoops, it's not being grabbed. Grab this, move it on the Y, I mean. See there? Just go perfectly right in there. All right. So most of the models we've had, even though they look good, they weren't like ideal, because if I were to import them into Unity and try to like test them, they'll probably be like off scale and things like that. And that's why I send you guys the exact model so that you guys can just grab this part, right? Grab it, like duplicate it and stuff, and you guys can edit it and stuff like that, right? So I don't know why it's acting up. Anyways, uh, yeah. So that's uh, that's the first thing, right? The skill. So that I want you guys to notice, because the skill of the model that you guys are making, the customization that you guys are making, is it has to be perfect so that I can actually be able to work to it with it. All right, so we'll move this model back, and you can see the adjustment here with the tail of the tiefling. All right, even though this looks, even though it's like separate, um, for just for design purpose, um, this here, all right, it is static, right? It is not animated, right? If we were to move this character, the tail will remain static. So she asked if she could make adjustment, and because this tail is static, I had to explain to her that it's already attached to this model, and it really won't you know, like be movable in a sense, right? So if she were to make an armor, like if this was like a claw physics type of equipment that she was making, it will probably be able to like drop on top of the model, and that would be fine, right? But it's not claw physics, right? We are doing low poly art style, stylized art style, right? And she did it perfectly. She made her own touches on the model, and that's what she came up with. All right, so I don't know if I can simplify this any further. Anyways, let's go ahead now and move the model inside again, and give this a second look, in a sense. All right, we'll move the model, and as you can see here, it fits. Right, not completely perfect, but it fits, and we can grab it on the X and try to adjust it. Right, a little bit. This, that's fine. All right, like that, it fits. As you can see, the ear goes through the armor, the horns go through, and everything goes through. Now the arms here, right, it looks like there's a problem here, but this is actually perfect, because as I was explaining to her, I'm just gonna disable, I'm gonna program this stuff to disable the mesh that we don't want, pretty much. And this is my own design choice, in a sense. There are different ways that you can uh, create armor and stuff. Again, as I said, there's the claw physics, there's the mesh texturing, like direct on, like UV mapping and stuff, and then there's mine style. All right, so I will just go ahead and program this stuff to ignore the part that isn't being affected here by the armor. All right, we have right leg. All right, those are the legs. I mean, the part that being affected by the armor, not aren't. All right, we don't need it still. We already have a tail on the armor. All right, so as you can see here, we have a perfect model, and it has armor on it, and it's perfect. All right, now this armor we can just update the design and stuff like that, but it is a chainmail. It doesn't have to be fancy. Um, for the most part, our art style is based on shapes, right? It's not really about graphics. It's more about shapes and yeah, and shading pretty much. So that's the design choice that we have, and we took that from the very start when I was making these basic models, and that's what we're going to stick with until the very end. All right, so it's like this. And but if we want to, you know, if the person was only, if the person was only able to purchase like one item, let's say they purchase just, let's say two items, for example, purchase the helmet and then they purchase the leggings and stuff like that, right? That means they won't have the chest plate for the equipment, and that's fine because when I program this, uh it's gonna show the part that, you know, that doesn't have the armor on it. As you can see here, the character looks cute, right? And all right, I think she have the hip. All right, this is the leggings. It pants pretty much, and then this is the boots for her, and looks beautiful, just the way we need her to be. All right, when you get the armor on. All right, wait. All right, and we will disable these. Maybe she don't have the gloves, or if we're enabling the gloves, then we have to go and find the well. All right, so this is the entire hand here. All right, actually we can just grab these gloves and move them up. Since these are like one-to-one scale, we can scale them to be large or shrink them or whatever just to fit them. This is gonna be like a minor inconvenience to me, but I can do this. Uh, oh, right, that fits, right? You don't have overlaps and stuff. We'll grab these, and you probably want to separate these gloves, like right hand and left hand, instead of combining them. Yeah, that's it. Well, they won't buy them separately, so I guess it can just be like this. Right hand and left hand can be combined like this. It's fine. All right. Anyways, we have the gloves there. We have the her pants. We have her boots, and her tail is still there. And we got her helmet. The horn is fitting. Everything is perfect. Right. This is the type of design that I've been asking for a long time now. We've had some really decent modelers, and they've done some awesome job with like attempting the character customization modeling. But this here is the perfect example, and I hope my explanation on it clarifies everything. What I needed you guys to do was to just make this one-to-one or one-to-one modeling, right? A one-to-one modeling thing where you can just grab these, right? Grab them and edit them, all right? And you know, when I import a model into Unity, I won't have to worry about the thing not being scaled properly. Like maybe you have the armor and then the neck, like the width is like maybe narrow and stuff like that, and like just consider the part of the armor that will be visible, and make sure that when you design the armor, like those part are taken into consideration in the sense that they can fit where they are supposed to be, and when I expose them, like the body here, right, so that it actually makes sense, right, and stuff like that. So awesome job here, 100%, and that's what I wanted to look at. I hope you guys can actually look at this and try to adjust how you are making your models so that everything can follow this framework, and that would be awesome. And we can actually make a lot of customer outfits and equipments and stuff like that really fast, and maybe focus on the next step, which is like UV mapping and texture painting with like Photoshop, right? You UV map these, you bake the texture and stuff like that, and then you export it, make some adjustment. But for the most part, we'll be using basic colors for now. So this here, I can just add a light blue to it to make a blue armor, green, and stuff like that. And all of these can be done with programming. And yeah. Anyways, thanks again to Kendra here. Did an amazing job. So reach out to her, guys, if you guys need help, and use this video as a uh, guideline for your work in a sense. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.